Good morning, everyone. This is Romanas from ManageEngine Desktop Central. I welcome you all for this MDM webinar. So before we start with the webinar, I would like to just inform, so if you have any difficulties in viewing the presentation or listening to the voice, please do raise questions or come to the chat panel so that we should be able to fix it quickly and proceed with the webinar. So thanks for the confirmation. So let's quickly get started with the webinar. So the agenda for today's webinar is going to be the paradigm shift from desktop to device management from Desktop Central's point of view. A little bit of focus on the features, what we are offering in terms of MDM solution. And obviously not all the features you expect or all the devices, variants, the operating systems are covered under here with the initial release. So we'll catch everything on the roadmap, so what is going to be available in the near future and in the course of time. And we'll also see the frequently asked questions which are in your mind, so maybe that will be useful. And we also have a quick walkthrough of the product from the console so that you can see where which feature is available, how to just go about using it. So it will give you a quick grip on using the mobile device management from Desktop Central. And finally, we'll have a quick recap. And between the setup assistance and the summary, we'll have a question and answer session where we should be able to just answer all your questions. If you have questions, you can raise your hands and ask the questions. We'll try to answer it parallelly during the webinar. And we'll also consolidate that during the end of the session. So if you look at the support for devices from Desktop Central, it's like adapting to the new era of the management. So people have started using mobile devices for the management of their regular work or for the office purpose. So it has become compulsory to manage the bring your own device kind of stuff by the IT administrators. So it's the right time that we start supporting on the devices. So that's the reason that Desktop Central has started supporting the device management. So initially it's going to be on the Apple devices. So if you look at the features, we categorize that under 4 different heads. So it's going to be the configuration management, which is allowing you to configure the settings like your emails, the Wi-Fi, the VPN accounts, things like that. And the second one is the policy management, which you can enforce a lot of policies, restrictions on the client computers, the devices, in order to have a uniform or restrictions in your corporate environment. And the most important thing is the mobile app management, which is very important. So you should be able to install or uninstall the applications on your mobile devices from this. And last, the security management, which was mostly on the data security, which is available on your mobile devices. So how to just manage that using security management, which is available with this Desktop Central MDM. Okay, let's have a quick closer look on the architecture, how the mobile device management is done through Desktop Central. So it's called OTA, or the air management. That means there is going to be a agent-less management. There won't be any agent. When you compare it with your Desktop Central desktop management. So you will have the agents installed on every desktop or the server on which communicates the server, desktop server intends to be served. But here there is not an agent-based management for now. It's going to be a profile which is going to handle this. We also leverage the APNS, which is called as Apple Push Notification Service. Given with the infrastructure from Apple, we leverage that and manage your devices over the air. So this is how it goes. So the devices would be wake up by the APNS, the network which is already framework which is already available from from Apple, sorry. And the MDM server will trigger an APNS notification through the APNS server to the devices, and the devices would be waked up, and they will communicate the MDM server to get the profile, restrictions, or the application which needs to be installed. And once it is done, it updates the MDM server. So this is the overall architecture of how, on a high level, how it is being managed. Now this is how the workflow goes. So you will add the devices, then create the profiles. In the profiles, you add the configurations, the restrictions. So after configuring the profile, you will associate with the device or a group of devices. So whatever modification you do or whatever settings you have done, that will be applied on the devices. When you disassociate, it is automatically removed whatever is done on the mobile device according to the profile. So coming to the configuration management, you will find configuring the Wi-Fi, VPN, the email accounts, which is very essential under the Exchange Active Sync, and a lightweight directory access protocol, which is a hierarchical structure where if you maintain your organizational resources in that, that should be able to be configured and accessed. Similarly, the calendars, shortcuts for web links, these things can be configured. When it comes to the policy management, similar to the Windows policy management, you should be able to define the policies, like the complexity, how long it should be available, things like that. And apart from this, you can manage a lot of restrictions like installing the applications, restricting the camera, YouTube, iCloud backup, a lot of things. So to put you like you will have 25 out of the box such restrictions available to manage your devices. Coming to the mobile application management, you should be able to install applications from your in-house app store, which is from the MDM server, and also from the app stores outside from Apple. And you will also have app catalog where the end user can choose the application to be installed. It also supports the Apple's VPP program, where you need to install the commercial applications. And this is the quick flow of how your mobile app management goes on. So it is defined, the application is defined. So when it goes to the device end, according to the definition, either it takes it from the enterprise application server or from the App Store app server and downloads it from there, installs it. So it could be either way, but ultimately once the installation is done, it takes the status of the installation and reports back to your MDM server. So if you define an app for your entire managed devices, you would know whether it is successfully installed or not on all the devices. And the last one, security management, where you should be able to remotely log or wipe the content of the corporate data or the complete wipe and reset the password codes. These are all the security measures with respect to the data which is available on the mobile devices. They are all managed. Suppose if the device is not in your possession and you are concerned about the data which is available there, so you can just use this so that it will be completely wiped. So there won't be any security breach because of the data which is available on the mobile device. Okay, that's a quick walkthrough on the features available on a high level. Now it is the integration time. So the mobile device management now comes with the Desktop Central basic installation. So it will have the MDM as a tab, as a plugin in Desktop Central. Now most of the Desktop Central users or the Service Desk Plus users would need MDM. So because we have seen a lot of the Service Desk Plus customers are using Desktop Central, and a lot of Desktop Central customers are utilizing Service Desk Plus. So we have an integration here which can show the MDM alone on the Service Desk Plus. So you should be able to get the MDM management under your Service Desk Plus installation. So you will have help desk, desktop management, and mobile device management under a single console. Okay. And to add more, this offering is also available under the MSP, meaning if you are managing multiple customers, you should be able to manage individual customers' devices using this one. Now it's time for the frequently asked questions, like what are the supported mobile operating systems as of now? So as of now, it is the Apple's iOS alone. That means from the device perspective, it's going to be iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. So these are the devices which are initially supported now. Will there be a free edition? Yes, there is a free edition where you can download and manage any number of devices. And when it moves to trial to free edition, it is going to restrict itself to 2 devices. So if you have a license, you can add the license further to any number of computers you procure. Is MDM a separate download? No, MDM is a download along with Desktop Central. If you download Desktop Central, you will have the MDM available with that. Can MDM be purchased separately? Yes. Though the download is going to be along with Desktop Central, if you want to manage only the devices, you can have a free version of Desktop Central which can allow you to manage 25 computers and have your license for mobile devices separately procured. So you can have any number of mobile devices managed with free 25 computers to be available. Which DC edition support MDM? So we have standard, profile, and enterprise editions of MDM. So this MDM is supported in all 3 versions. Okay. Okay. So now it's time to have a quick walkthrough of the product. Let me quickly jump to the product now. I have the installation available here. So you can find the familiar Desktop Central UI here, in which you can notice this MDM tab, which is newly added, and under which you'll have all this information. So let's try to get how things can happen here. Okay, so this is where you enable your MDM server and enroll your devices to be managed under it. So how do you do that? So this pictorial representation gives how you are going to have steps done in the manual mode to have the management in place. The first thing is you need to manually create a CSR, which is a certificate signing request. So once you raise that request, it comes to the Desktop Central support. They give you back the digitally signed CSR. then you will upload it with Apple's website, and they will just give you back their own signed certificate. So the first 4 steps, which is shown here, on here, is going to be manual process. So you create a CSR request, Desktop Central signs you that, and then you upload it with Apple's site, and they give you back again a signed certificate. And there ends the manual process. Then you need to just locate and register it with MDM server. So the 5th part here is available here. So if you come to your MDM installation, you can locate this APN certificate. Since I have added I need to edit that. Now browse and just provide the APN certificate which you have got, and provide a password which would be used during the registration of the devices. Now when you locate and provide the certificate and save it, it becomes the registration part is done. So this part is done. Register MDM. Now you have the enrollment process, where you need to enroll the devices to be managed under the MDM server. So you come here under enrollment. You can find the devices which are already enrolled here. Now to enroll a new device, click on enroll devices. You can select whatever means, like it can be a work group or any domain. You can add it here through this UI. Provide the username. And this one is important, where you need to provide the email ID. So why this is important? So only to this email ID, a link to add your device into the MDM will be sent. So how does it look like? So since I cannot show you the mobile device here, I have some screenshot to show you that. So you can open the email from your mobile or the iOS device. So it will have a link. When you click the link, you will get this UI. Provide the password. Once the password is provided, it will ask for the profile installation. And you can go through the details and click on the profile install. So once you are done, it will give you the status of the certificates which are registered, and also the enrollment status with your MDM server. So when you see this message on your mobile device, you can be ensured that your device gets listed under the enrolled devices in your MDM server. Okay, I'll just quickly recap that. So you need to create a CSR that comes to the Desktop Central support team, and then you take the digitally signed CSR, upload with Apple's website. For this to do, you need to have Apple's ID. You need to create an account there. Once you do that, they give you the signed certificate. You take the certificate, register with your MDM from the APN certificate location, and once it is done, you can enroll your devices. The enrollment is under the settings enrollment. From here, click on enroll device, provide the email ID. An email would be sent to your device. From the email, click on the link, accept the steps, follow the steps, and finally you will given with a message that it is successfully enrolled. Once you see that message, your device is added here. Now we have the server registered, and also the devices registered which are shown up in your mobile device management server. Okay, so immediately when the devices are enrolled here in your MDM, without doing any further action, you should be able to get the inventory of the devices which you have added. For example, I have something here, and I click that. You can see here, it shows the inventory about what is that device, what is the model, what is the IMEI number, the phone mobile number, the provider, the storage details. All these things are shown here as a summary. You can see here the device information, network information. See, these are the informations that we usually don't store and have it for record purpose. But since it's a mobile device management, we take all these details and record it for reporting purpose or for inventory. This tab shows you all the installed applications in this particular device. The certificate shows what are the certificates you have registered on this device. The restrictions are the interesting stuff which we will see when we check the profile. So without doing anything, after enabling your server and the mobile device enrollment, you are able to get the complete inventory. Now, the enrolled devices, we need to start managing it. So how do we do that? So you can see here all the devices are shown up here. And there is one more provision called groups. So what is the need for groups? You will have different category of mobile users who are given with mobiles, or they bring their own devices inside your corporate network. So you need to segregate them and have defining restrictions or configurations or applications according to the profile or the category. So for example, people who bring their own devices, you will have a different kind of restrictions. For the people who give, who are doing marketing, they will be not restricted with much stuff. People who are in the management category, there won't be much restrictions. So you can have different groups defined here. Okay. Given with the devices groups defined here, we'll move on to the profiles and see how this can be linked. Profile is the basic part where you need to have the features configured for the devices. So how we do that, maybe I'll just jump on to different installation where I should be able to show you the latest iOS because it's the latest build available here. Now, if you check the profiles, these are the features. The first one is the passcode. You should be able to define the password policy here. The restrictions, these are all the device level restrictions and the app level restrictions or iCloud security level restrictions which you can do. Say for example, when you have the mobile devices configured under MDM, you can have a policy of disabling the mobile camera when it is in your corporate environment. So that means it is secure. As per the policy, you just disable that. Similarly, you disable Siri in your phone, things like that. So this can be a lot of restrictions which Apple supports that you can enforce. And important things like Wi-Fi. When the user comes in, you can automatically configure the Wi-Fi to him so that he starts using the corporate Wi-Fi network. The resources of your corporate can be configured on these devices. Similarly, VPN, the email settings, Exchange Active Sync, lightweight directory protocol, so a lot of stuff. So the last two ones are something interesting there, which is only supported in the iOS 6. So the last week's update, that is 8.0.111, which has the app lock functionality, which will allow you to configure your iPhones to only use certain applications which you define here. Okay. So you can make your device as a kiosk, like a kiosk, so that they can use only the devices, only the applications which are allowed to be run. The other one is the global proxy, which is like you can define this proxy here so that everywhere it is automatically, it's a global level proxy settings for the device. So these are all the new iOS 6 feature which we have recently added. Okay, so now we have the profiles defined here. Now, if you go to the groups and devices, you have an option to select a device or multiple devices and associate a profile. You can see here the available profiles are shown. If you just click and move the profile, it is associated to the device. You can save the changes. Now what happens, whatever is available on the profile immediately gets applied on the device. So how this happens is the APNS, the MDM contacts the APNS. The APNS wakes up the device, and the device contacts the MDM server, and the profile gets applied on it, and immediately after the profile is applied, it is updated on the MDM server. Okay, it can be done based on the device or based on the group of devices. Okay, so let's now move on to the app repository, where you should be able to add the applications for distribution among your devices. So the first thing is you have to decide whether it's going to be from the App Store or from the Enterprise Application Repository. So when you say Enterprise Application Repository, you need to provide all the details, including what is the category, what are the devices that it support. So all these details you provide, and it is added, uploaded to your enterprise server. So during the app association, it actually takes it from your enterprise server and installs it. So the other one is the App Store applications, which you should be able to configure here like this. When you type the application name, it goes to the website and fetches the details. Let's take an example. So I'm not sure what is this. So it's a paid app. I'm just selecting that. So since it's a paid app, you have an option enabled here to use the VPP. So VPP is a volume purchase program where you can have your redemption coupons given here. So once these paid apps are installed, it automatically takes the redemption coupons and redeems it. Okay, so these are the two ways where you can add the application into the repository. So as I said, irrespective of the repository, either from the app server, local app server, or from the app server from Apple, the status is sent back to the server. So how the app installation is done? Again, if you go to the groups and devices, you can select this and you will find distribute apps available here. You click on distribute apps, you will find what are the apps available on that instance. So you can just save the changes, that immediately gets installed. So you will find the application installation status under this, profile application status under here. So that's about the profile and app deployment on the devices. Okay. So we have already seen the devices and the inventory details. This one is all about the applications which are available on the whole of the managed devices. So you are getting a single view where you have all the application related details are shown here. This is a way where you can do a manual scanning. So here you're going to schedule the scanning so that it can periodically happen and update you. This part is all about the reports. We have a handful of reports here which can talk about what are the apps and in which device what app is available. Or you can also take reports based on the specific applications with or without. The audit is another important factor where you would be able to see what happens from the MDM server, like what are the devices which are being enrolled, profiles applied, profiles associated, profiles disassociated. So all these details, the actions which are performed from the mobile device management server is shown here. One more important thing I want to show you here is if you go to the devices and go to the specific device, you have the security option shown here, which we need to see when we are checking on the inventory. You can see here you have the remote lock available here. You should be able to remotely lock the device. Suppose if it is not in your position, if you feel that it's not there, so maybe you can lock it immediately. Remote wipe, corporate wipe. Only when you say corporate wipe, the configuration data like email accounts, the password settings, all those things are removed. When you say remote, why? The relevant all personal data, including that, is removed. So this ensures that your corporate data or personal data, when the device is not in your possession, is wiped securely so that it doesn't cause any damage to the organization. And we also have the passcode, clear passcode. Even if you don't know the actual existing passcode, you should be able to reset that or clear it remotely using this. So these are all the security features which are under the action button for individual devices. Settings, we have seen what is what. This is where you enroll the server. This is where you enroll your devices. NAT settings are basically to make the availability of your MDM server out of your corporate network. You should be able to reach them when you're outside the corporate network. Authentication, what type of authentication you want to choose, you can choose it from here. And the last one is the proxy settings. Just in case if the server needs to go outside to reach the internet, it's going to make use of it. So that's on the MDM as of now with the features and functionality where it is available. Going back to the presentation, we'll see what is the roadmap. So given with the support for iPhones, iOS, iPhones, iPads, and iPods, we'll see what is in roadmap. The first one is the support for Android, which is the most widely asked question. And yes, we are working on that. So the support for Android should be available by December. So it is going to be a Android support from December, starting from various variants of Android. And followed by the Windows 8 support. We'll be supporting Windows 8, which is being expected. We'll also support Windows 8 pretty soon, immediately after the Android. And more segmentation policies for bring your own device, also for bring your own application. So we'll be adding more segmentation and the policies for that. And we are also planning on the self-service portal, working on the self-service portal, which should make the things pretty easier. Okay, so you should be able to just do everything on your own, delegate to the end users. And also the from the iOS point of view, identifying and reporting on the jailbroken devices will be done. Also on the location tracking and geofencing, we support that. Coming to the mobile app management, the first thing is going to be the tracking of the usage of the applications on the mobile devices, on all the managed devices, and more focus on the security management of the applications. And we'll also be supporting the updates of the app versions just by synchronizing. The important thing would be whitelisting and blacklisting. So what do you need to have in the network, or what you don't want to have in the mobile device network in terms of applications. There's a feature which is supported by Samsung, which is called Safe, that they have some specific devices which are marked for the usage in the corporate. So we'll be leveraging that framework and using it. And yes, it's time for the questions. We have a lot of questions here which needs to be answered. So we'll start with, okay, there's a question on BlackBerry support. So as of now, there is no support for BlackBerry, and in near future, it is not seen in our roadmap. So maybe if there is more demand and request on the BlackBerry support, we'll be just adding it in the roadmap. Let's check the other questions. What docs certificate identify true or false means? Okay, so it is when you see the certificate as true, it means it is signed, verified and signed. When you you have to see, identify, which will have the verified and signed. Okay. There's a question on, do I need to have an Apple developer account? Yes, that is for the certificate registration. You don't need to have a developer account. You just need to have a normal Apple account. That's enough to have the APNS certificate registered. Okay, jailbroken devices again. So yes, it is in the roadmap, but not with the available bill which is outside. It should be supported soon. Okay. There's a question on bring your own devices. Yes. So we should say that it is supported in the initial level comprehensively. You should be able to get this device into your network, register it with the MDM server, and you should be able to control it. Blocking the applications. We can restrict the application installation. I don't know whether it directly means that. We should be able to restrict the app installation. And on the other way, we can say if you are using iOS 6, there is an app lock feature which is allowing you to use only the authorized or approved applications. So that is supported now. So let's wait for the questions. So there's a question on locating the devices when it is not in the position. Yes, it is in the roadmap, but not with the current build, which is outside and available. Yes, again a question on the Android support. As I showed in the roadmap, the Android support would be available by December. And the support for Android OS would start from 2.0. Okay. So there is a question on will ManageEngine be able to host the services and manage? No. So you need to have the MDM in your setup, or you can NAT it so that all your the devices which are outside your corporate network, which are reachable, can be managed. No, ManageEngine will not host and manage the services. Okay. And can I remotely delete any program? Okay, if you have installed the app through the MDM of Desktop Central, you should be able to just delete that. Okay, there's a question on the license management. So like they already have the installation of desktop management for X amount of computers. Now want to know how to go about adding licenses for the MDM, which is now only for the 2 devices. Yes, you can get in touch with the support and sales so that they can provide you license along with the additional mobile device management, the number of mobiles which you need to manage. It's possible. Okay, there is a requirement for NAT setting. Yes, there is available. You can NAT the MDM server so that it can be reached from outside world. You the port number you need to expose outside the network so that they can be used. It's 8383 for the MDM server. What is the cost of MDM? It is open. I mean, you can just check it on the online store. So the base pack of 10 devices is going to cost of $15 per device. Whereas for the MSP, it's going to be $17 per device for a pack of 10 devices, base pack. So there is a question on the time restricted base policy deployment. Currently, it is not supported. So maybe I'll just take this input and pass on to the team. So currently, it is not time-based profile deployment. What is the earliest build number that can access MDM? Yes, the build number 80100 is the one which will have the MDM plugin added. But the latest one is going to be 80111, which has the functionality of iOS 6 features supported. And there is another question on the same non-workhouse policy deployment. As of now, it is not available. Let me take this input and pass on to the team. Let's check for questions. Windows Phone support for Windows 7? No. So we'll be supporting Windows 8 on the mobile devices, not on other versions. In use. Okay, there's a question on data usage, cellular data and 3G data usage on the devices. Currently, it is not supported. We'll just pass on this information to the team. If it is feasible, the team would be just supporting it soon. Okay. So again, there's a question on the services can be hosted. No, from ManageEngine, we are not supporting that. You can actually have it in your in-house or probably expose it to the outside world, so they should be able to manage the devices which are not in your corporate environment. I think that's it. Let's wait for some more questions if it needs to be answered. And don't worry if you cannot raise a question now and get it answered. You can always raise it with your support, so they should be able to assist you immediately, not only on the questions but also on the setup assistance if you need further more on that. Again, there's a question on remotely removing a program. As I said, if you have installed it through the Desktop Central MDM management, you should be able to remove it remotely. So let's wait for a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, we can take it up now immediately. There's a question on users are able to use social app. Yes, they should be able to use it unless you restrict them from the restrictions available in your profile. Okay. So is it possible to block the usage of YouTube? Yes, there is ready-made restrictions available under the profile where you can restrict the YouTube usage. Okay, again, a question on the integration. Can we get the MDM alone on the SDB? Yes, you should be able to get the mobile device management alone on the Service Desk Plus interface. So you will have two integrations with Desktop Central. One is for the desktop management. The other one will be for the mobile device management. So you might have already got the integration of desktop management integration on the Service Desk Plus. The mobile device management is yet to be supported. The build for that from the SDB is yet to be released. So once they release that, you should be able to get the MDM inside the Service Desk Plus. But as of now, SDB needs to support that and release that build. I think that's it. The questions have stopped coming in. Yeah, there's one more on the jailbroken devices. Yeah, as of now, identifying and reporting on the jailbroken devices is in the roadmap. Probably we'll be supporting it shortly and keep you posted. The available current build of Desktop Central MDM is not supporting that. Soon we'll be supporting that. Let's wait for a couple more minutes if we can get some more questions on this. So as I said, so you can always contact support for the questions or any technical assistance for the mobile device management. So even if you have specific requirements or more features, you can always contact the Desktop Central support. Feel free to send your requirements so that we should be able to just analyze that. And since we are in the development stage of other features, and as we always take the customers' inputs and try to incorporate in the immediate features, we'd be able to just take up your requirements in the initial stage and add it to the roadmap so that we can gradually add that in the product to address all your requirements. Yes, there are a few questions which have popped up now. Okay, so how do we remove the restrictions from the on the device? You can associate a profile which removes the restrictions so that it should be immediately taken. And if you look at the way the restrictions or the policies or the applications are applied, it is done immediately. If you notice the if you would have noticed the initial setup, so I was just talking about the OTA. So because of the OTA feature, so it's going to be applied immediately on the devices so that the restrictions or the applications or the settings get applied on the devices immediately, and you get the status update immediately back on your MDM server. Maybe the users who have already used desktop management would have noticed we have a unique feature of status report. The endpoints like devices or the desktops would respond to your console with the status whether the required configuration or application or the patch is done or that device or not, whether it's a success or a failure. Similarly, on the devices, it is going to update back to the MDM server saying whether it is successfully deployed the profile or app or not. So there's a question on what if co-workers leaving the company. You can use the security features like corporate wipe or the personal, the complete wipe, so that it can be, the data can be remotely wiped if it is a BYOD device. And you can also remove the profile completely so that it becomes unmanaged from the MDM server. If you want to ensure devices to be unmanaged, you can just remove the profile from that. Okay. Again, question on the using the 3G data plane. So actually, we don't provide usage of the 3G data usage here. So as I said in the previous question, I'll take this and pass on to the team whether it can be addressed. Yes. So there's a question on the MDM, the devices managed by the MDM, but if it is not in the corporate network, can this be scanned? Yes, this can be scanned, and the data will be received on the MDM server. Okay, so so I think the questions have started coming in. So I know, so as long as we are here, you will be able to just clarify all your doubts, but time is the constraint here. So let's take your questions offline, like you can send it to the support. You will see the support email ID here. It's Desktop Central support at ManageEngine.com. The existing users, customers might have known this email ID. You'll send your queries to this, so we should be able to assist you through web sessions, over the phone, through the forums, or even through the email, which you can send it to this email ID. I appreciate one and all for your active participation and the questions. There could be, see, we still get questions here, so we should be able to answer them individually. So we'll also have the questions posted in FAQs if it is asked by more people. So once again, I thank you for your active participation, joining here, and encouraging us on the MDM side. So thanks and have a great day. Thanks.